Resolute. Well, thank you all so very much for coming. It was slightly last minute for some of you because I just sent the email out last night. We know life gets busy. But I wanted to embark upon these kinds of sessions so that we can break through some of these walls, which is what this is called. So I'm going to share. Oh gosh, it would have been great if I'd had my presentation up and ready. So I'm going to share a presentation that I tried to put together for this, just so that we could step through what it is I want to try to accomplish tonight. So basically, this is breaking through the brick walls that we all have. I want to be able to share with you some of the steps that I've taken to organize. A great deal of this is organization. How do we organize the data, especially when there's so many people that we're related to, but we don't know? And then when we're coming to find out DNA don't lie, it verifies. So that is my premise for this year. It's literally is verifying whatever theories we've had over so many years. And I've been able to find so many different breakthroughs with this year because of GEDmatch and different things that we're going to talk about tonight. So just a little touch about me, because this is not a conversation of you hearing who I am. So I'm not having everyone introduce themselves, because you will have an opportunity to share a snippet of that. If we have a lot of people, then I'll ask that we keep it a little short and minimal. But if not, if it's just us, a few of us under 10 or so, I think we will be able to share a little bit more who we're trying to research in those surnames and how they're going to be related. But this is me. This is me 30 plus years ago. Having gone back and forth to, or Emily over there smiling, having gone back and forth to Bullitt County, tracing down my walls and our trees. And back in the day, we were snail mailing and trying to schedule time to meet up in one location with everyone we were related to, just to see what we could find. So this was myself, Emily, and Orletta. We were all related, dragging my mama, my daughter, and my nieces. And at the bottom was one of the ancestors to McGrady, the surname McGrady, out of Bullitt County, Alabama. She was actually a granddaughter. So we were emailing back and forth 30 plus years ago, just trying to figure it all out. This is my 4-gen picture. My mom, my grandma, my mom, myself, and my daughter. Just a little piece of snippet about me, and that's all you're going to get, other than my DNA talk later. So tonight, this conversation is about Miss Cindy. And yes, Miss Cindy, I stole this photo from your Facebook.
I see that.
So, I want Cindy to give me about 3 to 5 minutes, no more than that, please. 3 minutes, just a synopsis of yourself and your surname, your family. And I'll do that with each of the host people that will be researching their information. I so appreciate your willingness to do this. So you have the floor for about 5 minutes, 3 minutes or so, Miss Cindy.
Okay. On the side that I truly suspect we're related to, it's my grandfather's side. He was a Mason, and I was just able to find a 5th to 8th cousin that goes back to Middlesex County, Virginia. So I feel really comfortable about that connection to Aylesworth. I should go grab a notebook. I could give you my surnames better. I'll just, I was going to take the computer with me, but I can't. Just a minute.
So when I start, I'll do a little snippet of conversation. Some of you are new to me, and some of you have been on my Facebook group for a little while. So basically, when I first started, and I uploaded my GEDmatch a year ago, went in, I was like, this is too much science for me. This is too technical. Oh no, what do I do with any of these? I don't know these people. I'm out. So Emily helped me probably a few years ago. Uploaded it, didn't know what to do with it. It just sat there and I ran. And as I've gotten stronger with researching, finally went into GEDmatch this year, forced myself to learn it. And be honest with you, I don't care about everything that's out there, chromosomes, all this other stuff. I just want to know, where am I related to you, and if I'm related to you. That's all that matters in my world.
Okay. All right.
So go, Miss Cindy.
Okay. So my grandfather was Norman Mason. born in Birmingham. His mother was Zulia Allen, born in Lochapoka, Lee County. My sister and I have been on the land because she lives in Lee County.
Okay.
His father was James Mason, born in Middlesex County. His father was Norman Mason, born in Middlesex County. His grandmother was in Aylesworth, Middlesex County. Her father was in Aylesworth. And then we have Duncan in Accomack County and Keziah Taylor in Accomack County. And then we go, the Allens get a little, then we go down to the Allens and we have a lot of James Allens. And then the Williams family was from Duplin, North Carolina. They moved to Marengo County. That's where my great-great-grandmother ended up. And then after she married my great-grandfather, they moved to Lochapoka. And then we have a Goodings from Jones County, North Carolina, and Samuel Williams, who goes to Blackwater, Franklin. Edith Parker died in Hale County, Alabama. And then I have on the Allen side, I have Robert Allen, Edgewood District, died in Montgomery. Nancy Ham was his wife. And then a good guess on Benjamin Vincent. But the Williams side goes back to a Parker and Elizabeth Durham Carr in Southampton, Virginia. Bertie, North Carolina. And that's once, and then we go to the Aylesworths and Duncans again. I'm trying to get this more organized, but I have found on the Aylesworth that fifth, eighth cousin was a Norton, if that means anything. But they, on that side, never really lived in the area after, except for Middlesex County in the 1830s, a Harrow, Evelina Harrow, and William Norton. And then we go to the Aylesworth, who married a Cundiff, and Roberta Seward, and another Cundiff who married Jane Harrow, and Norton, and William Norton, who married an Elizabeth Mason. And that basically, my grandfather's line is the one that I think we're linked to. But my grandmother's side was the Virginia connection. McLaren, and then her parents were Mark and McLaren. I'm named for my great-grandmother, Cynthia Ann Mark. And then we go to Purdy's and Hazlitt's, and a lot of them from Maryland. Kevin Boyette, who's in this group, has told me that his family that really started in Florida came down from Virginia. You know how close Virginia and Maryland are up there. My mom learned to swim in the Chesapeake Bay. In fact, my half aunt still lives at Princess Anne, right there. And so I really can't put a few things together, but he threw in a name Tharp that gets changed to Thorpe, Kevin Boyette had, because there was an NPE somewhere, non-parental. And so he thinks he's not really, I don't know if he's on here, I shouldn't maybe say that, but he really thinks he's got to follow the Thorpe line. And another gal that I was trying to help with some other stuff, she also has a Tharp in her family with the Allen last name, and they're buried in the same cemetery where my McLaren grands and great grandparents are buried in Catlett, Fauquier County, Virginia.
Okay,
and we've been there and taken pictures, and Haslip's and different, and Duvals are buried in a field. This lady let us walk through the field to get to this old cemetery in 2003. Her son made a trail, and then somebody has set the headstones back up since then. We were going to do it, we and two cousins, but somebody beat us to it.
Gotcha.
Really nice. So I cannot figure out where the connection is,
Well, that's
but
the
there's a
goal.
lot of them.
That's the goal of this is one piece at a time. All right.
Yeah.
So basically, the very first step to me that's very important. And I'm gonna ask a question. If you're not clear, then I'll quickly go through my slides and I'll walk you through how to make sure that we do it. So when I first started before this year, well, this is my pedigree chart, and you may not be able to see it right now. You could always look at my pedigree chart in GEDmatch. My tree is private, but I do invite those of them researching with me to it. But we know this pedigree chart in Ancestry. Um, the key is printing them. You want to print your pedigree charts.
Yeah.
Everybody's, absolutely everybody's, because the beauty what I found in printing a pedigree chart, this is a little clearer. You get to see the individual, where they were born, where they married, and where they died. And the goal of that is that when we're trying to figure out how we're related to someone, we need to pinpoint these locations and line them up to our record in our family. So being able to print out their pedigree, whether it's from Ancestry or a different source, is key and pivotal. Not just looking at it like this, because this doesn't give me location, this doesn't give me days, this tells me nothing other than a name. And for many of us, the name means nothing because names kept changing. So number one, print your pedigree charts. And then number two is making sure that you're going to upload your GEDCOM files to your pedigree charts, to your profile in GEDmatch. Key number two, primarily because, so this is a picture of the group, but primarily you have to upload your GEDCOM file or your family tree to your profile in GEDCOM, because when we now go to look at your profile, we want to see what your pedigree looks like so we can do our own deep dive. And without that, we're at a loss of how we're related. And now here comes the messages and the emails and time elapse. So by making sure that we upload that GEDCOM to our profile allows us to at least understand when we're looking at that information, how to line it up. So this is the Ancestry's projects, the Ancestry project. So all of you should be in this long name project. So when I work with Emily to come up with the names, this is not, okay, so question about upload. So I'm gonna pause the presentation and go directly to GEDmatch, just to make sure we're clear on getting that GEDCOM file, okay, into GEDmatch. So on Ancestry, so basically, this is mine. So this is my longest pedigree file. So that was a good segue. Thank you, Miss Annette. That was a good segue, because I really wanted to show, before this year, I stopped at on this line. So this is Bird. This is my Copes Bird out of Bullitt County, Alabama, Copes Bird line. So I have been able to, on my own, figure out my 6th generation. So this row over here is 5 generations. So every page will print 5 generations. And the next continuation will continue. So this particular column is 6. This next indentation is 7. So I, on my own, was able to go to 6 and 7 generations, and I've been halted. Last year and this year, especially this year with GEDmatch, I have gone this far alone, with being able to know that I'm related to someone, that they had a pedigree chart and they had a tree. And I was able to look at their tree and say, oh my God, you are my cousin. I have adopted you, because DNA don't lie, it verifies. So the key is making sure that our files get uploaded into GEDmatch. And I'm going to show you that. The other thing I wanted to quickly show you with how I manage my ancestral lines, because they're so huge and large and convoluted. So this is a person's, this is my third great grandfather. I've been stealing people beautiful icons because I need a visual, right? The visual for me, what the visual does for me when I'm looking at it like this, I want to be able to understand you are a direct descendant to me, or I have a DNA match to you. So I'm starting to use these little pictures in place of just male or female to help me have a visual indicator that I am related to this line. Another thing that I do, where are you? That was probably the wrong person I chose. Okay. Yes. So this is just a me thing. Your naming convention can be up to you, but I use this little star, this asterisk. That just tells me that's my direct line. I want a visual indicator that tells me this is my direct line. But when I'm related to someone, I put the word DNA after their name. That's my visual indicator that says I am going to be related to someone in this person's line. And everyone after that, if I have found a DNA match, I go to their tree and I start building my tree with their information, but I put the word DNA after it. Because when I look at this tree, if I look at this tree and I don't see any indicators, I don't remember. It's too many names, right? So I put this little indicator, and then I stole this little tree icon from somebody, because that just says to me, I'm related to this person as a visual marker when I don't have a photo. So I know the stars or asterisks are me, my direct line. Anything with DNA is that person's line. Emily told me a long time ago to start using these. Emily, I have started. So I started using my tags, and I will tag DNA connection. I've also created some custom tags that said, I think slaveholder was probably down here, had no slaves. That was another interesting one. Sometimes they don't have slaves, so we don't want to be researching some people when we don't need to. So creating these custom tags is very helpful, just as a visual indicator. But when that tree is collapsed, it's not going to help you. If you have a tag and nothing in the name, it's not going to help you until you look at that person's name. And then what I do is every individual that I add, again, I go in and I add the word DNA after that person's name until I get down to that DNA person, and then I link them to my tree. So I'm making sure I know how to get to the DNA match that Ancestry showed me, or whoever showed me. Another thing, I do the same thing, even if it's not a direct DNA match, I will, in the notes under tagging, I should have actually put the DNA match. I thought I did. But I'll put a note. Something in here is going to tell me, let's say, for instance, you're finding people you're related to, but the centimorgans are too low. Copy that person's profile from the web address of their profile, and then throw it in there with some comments. That's a really good way of being able to remember, why did you add this person? So the reason you see private is because, so that little icon is so cool, it takes me to their profile, right?
You don't check my stuff.
So this was their profile that I directly linked. And so now I can quickly get to their tree. Hopefully you're hearing me. My computer's saying my resources are tripping. But now I can quickly get to their tree. And so get to their profile, see their tree, but I knew for a fact that we were related. And so the reason why you saw all those privates, right, is because I can't see the name. So I said, well, I fix you. I believe you are the the starting person, Al Crow. So I just put private Coke, private whoever, and then I added the individual's name until I talk with them and I can update private to an actual name. So this is my way of working around some of the barriers, because to me, what I believe, and I don't know how Ancestry is calculating any of this, but what I believe, what I know, for I work in IT. So they're going to be triangulating, calculating things based on our connecting to matches. So by not having those matches incorporated into your tree, or by having it incorporated, it's going to strengthen our calculations of getting better matches or more matches. And once you link them to your tree, you see that little icon right there. If you didn't know, and so I did due diligence to do my best to add that icon to everybody that I knew, to make sure I've connected their DNA in my tree to whoever that person was in my tree. If you don't know how to connect them, you just basically gonna, oh, wrong thing. You're gonna click on their profile, and at the top here it says connect to tree, and you just start typing the name, and I'll just type my name. You just start, oh, I'll type, yeah, you just start typing a name, and then the name's gonna come up and you click it, and that's how you link that person in your tree. But their name has to be in your tree for you to do that. So I just wanted to make sure that I showed you guys that part of it, as far as drilling in my personal. So I've heard, Emily, we talk all the time about this. I heard a lot of people say, well, you don't want to put, when you add the name for a woman, put her maiden name. Her maiden name wasn't helpful to me like that. I needed to know her name as it pertains to her spouse so I could quickly understand her relationship in my family line. So for me, I add them all. I just do. Nicknames, surnames, maiden names. Everybody's name is going to get added in here, because I don't find the hints of ancestry overly helpful. I'm building what my research is off of DNA and the trees. Okay. So once you have all of your tree in a good place, and it's always a work in progress, you're just going to go to trees and manage. And you're gonna choose what tree you want to upload to GEDmatch. And you go over to tree settings. In tree settings on the right hand side, it says export. You can export this many times. So once this becomes a download to your computer, you're then going to go to GEDmatch. Okay. And in GEDmatch on the home page, you'll be able to, and normally it's right underneath your kit information. Right in here will be upload GEDCOM file. So that file is called a GEDCOM file. So you're going to upload it. And what I'll tell you, Emily, I did this with Emily. What happens a lot of times, sometimes we accept a person's hint. It doesn't have a male or female name. And so GEDCOM is going to tell you, you have all this information that we've changed because you didn't identify a male or a female. So you can accept it, but it's not going to hinder the pedigree chart, or it may if that's the person that was a grandparent. So you can always delete that file by going, I think you choose it here. Nope, that was the wrong option. You go into manage DNA, manage GEDCOM. That's DNA. Oh, where is it? Down here. Oh my God, these links are so not clear. Down here, right below it, under that paragraph, is a line that says click here to manage your GEDCOM file. So, and you can have more than one. And so down here is the option to delete it right here. And then when I have now, I'm going to upload a new one because I've been adding more grandparents and more information. So you can always delete and upload again. So it definitely is helpful to have healthy pedigree chart, especially for the process of what we're trying to do. So the next part of that presentation was basically, once you're going, so another thing I will quickly tell you, when we do a one-to-one autosomal, so you gave me your kid ID, I just need to know if I'm kin to you. So I go in after I type. What I do like is if you've uploaded your kits, they're there. So I get to at least add my kit without remembering it. And you're going to add the next person kits there. But one thing about autosomal, I leave everything default because I do not know the science behind all of this to be making changes today. But I know for a fact that says 3 centimorgans. And I know because we are related past 5 generations, we are going to be below 7 centimorgans many times. There is no way in the world for me to find you without lowering my centimorgans. So at a minimum, to confirm you are related to someone, if GEDmatch says the minimum is 3, I'll at least do 3 everywhere. I'm not going to stay at 7. GEDmatch says 3, I'm going to do 3 at a minimum. Now, so I just wanted you to be able to see that some of the other features and functions force you to be at 7, just knowing you're not going to get the people you want to see because they're already stopping you with that threshold. But at least we know we have to, hello, Miss Patricia made it. We know that we have to be able to manipulate and go lower than 7. So one of the things I will tell you, being in a group is phenomenal because in a group, you can do that. But so far what I found, you cannot do that not being in a group. So being in this group here, you're going to type, you're going to type your kit. And now the threshold can go to 1 if I needed to go to 1. So that's what the power is being in a group that I found. I can at least do 3. I do most common recent ancestor because I want, first of all, I want all of the centimorgans to be grouped by a person's name. So I don't want someone here and someone here and someone further down. That confused me. So I group it by most common recent ancestor, which is the key to my whole conversation tonight. Other than our pedigree charts, is we need to be doing this by most common ancestor anyway. So basically, so now I'm gonna show real quickly the PowerPoint. Okay, then I'll go back to GEDmatch. Okay. So the next thing, of course, is we know our kits. We know how to navigate, manipulate it, going back and forth by clicking the kit. It's a link. It's going to take you to an autosomal search, I believe, of that person with that kit. The tree, when you do not have your GEDCOM uploaded, this is what I'm talking about. We do not see your family tree, your GEDCOM, or your pedigree chart. So we want to be able to see that. That's the importance of uploading that. We know about where the chromosomes marker is. And then the centimorgan. So we're comfortable. SNPs and overlap today, don't ask me. I'm not there yet. I'm good today. But the MERCA, most recent common ancestor. So, and then of course the email. This is the power that I use with GEDmatch. The tree and the most recent common ancestor. And then of course, when you click on that person's tree, so I'm going to go back to GEDmatch. I'm going to show you what happens and how to navigate and manipulate this particular view. Okay. So I'm going to find Miss Cindy's. And she has a beautiful tree. Patty, I heard you have a tree too. Yay. So once,
I do somewhere.
So once we at least, and so some people have a wiki page. I'm going to click it and I'm going to show you what that looks like. I don't like the view of a wiki because the numbering convention is so weird compared to a true pedigree of your grandparents in alignment in columns. The numbers just increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 instead of saying 1 generation, 2 generation, 3. But that's a wiki, so you can definitely upload a wiki link. But with the GEDCOM file, you guys don't see yourself in my view, right? Okay, I just want to make sure you don't see yourself because, okay. So once we are here, we understand it's giving us a breakdown of parent, mother, and father, who that person married. Children are hidden because anyone alive is hidden. So I'm noticing some people have an ancestor as hidden. I'm like, come on, really? They're not alive. Help us out. But so then you have their kit number here. So the ways to manipulate these two options, pedigree and descendant. So the pedigree is definitely going, if you have mapped you as the person in the file. So what that basically means, if I'm on Ancestry, and that was Cindy's link, Cindy's tree. If I'm on Ancestry, am I the person that's starting at the left? So some people may decide, I'm going to start with my mom. I'm going to start with my grandmother. Well, the pedigree chart is going to pick up from that person that you started and not you. So you want to make sure you are the starting person in your tree, especially on Ancestry or any other application. And basically all you're going to do is you're going to go to manage settings, because I somehow I had did that. I had made my oldest ancestor my starting person. That made sense to me, but it didn't for pedigree. So you're just going to change right here, your home person and who you are in this tree. You want to point it to yourself in the tree. Simple as that. Okay. So once you made sure that you're the starting person in the tree, and then you click pedigree, then you're going to get the person's pedigree chart. And we're going to be researching Cindy and Patricia's pedigree chart tonight. Now, descendants. Let me show you how to get to descendants for some of you who weren't in my last session. If you do not change and navigate descendants, this is going to show you Cindy's descendants, and you're not going to get nobody. That is the descendants of the person you're looking at. We know we want to see all of the descendants top down from the oldest person to today. So to manipulate that and to get around that, you're going to go to the pedigree chart and you're just going to look for, now mind you, if this is the person I'm looking for, or Keziah Taylor, if this is the person I'm looking for, then I think I want to start with the oldest person of Keziah Taylor's line, right? Another thing, this little box here, this arrow, I've learned, thank you, Patty, that means there's more information. There's another line, generational line. So either you can click that and it'll open a new tab, or a trick is go to the top of the page and choose just a higher number. And what it does is it hits submit. It's just going to rearrange the page and show you everybody. So you don't have to go clicking things. Well, I would have had to click some more over there. I didn't go enough. Patty has a lot of generations in her tree.
Cindy does.
Patty and Cindy's. So now I went to 14 generations, and now everyone is on the page. So that's how you get away from having clicking on something, it takes you to another tab. Just change the number of pedigrees, the number of generations you're going to see on the page. Now, in order to see the descendants, again, so Keziah was the oldest person, but over here, Cindy had someone going way over here, probably 10, 11, 12 generations. I'll choose this person. You just click that person's name. Now you click descendants, and you're going to go top down.
Wow.
So that's how you manipulate being able to understand and see all of the children and all of that line, and a little clearer. So I could see Birmingham. That would kind of maybe stand out for me if I'm looking who was the person related to this person, that kind of thing. Okay. Wonderful. All right. So where am I? So I did all of that online, and we have viewed the pedigree chart. I've blown through all that. Now viewing the descendants, we have done all of that. So now we are going to determine the generation and the Merca, basically using starting with Cindy's. So with Cindy's, basically, sometimes I think trying to understand the generation seems a little confusing, because it's so close together. You can always potentially, like I said, you're gonna go to forget this person. You're gonna go to Ancestry, look at the pedigree chart, print it out, and once you print out the pedigree chart, you'll have their generations. So Cindy's generation, I had it up, it got lost. But Cindy's generation, I could print it from Ancestry, which I do, because Ancestry groups it a lot nicer. but then a person may not have all of the data in both places. Sometimes their pedigree chart, their GEDCOM file and over here in GEDmatch is not as up to date as it should be. It's outdated, it's old, but Ancestry may be more current. So again, the goal is going to be looking at that pedigree chart. So you are going to be person number 1. The second line is generation number 2. Generation number 3 is here. So, so we're basically going to follow the column. So I count the columns. That's generation 5, generation 6, generation 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I had 11. So Cindy's file has 11 generations deep that we would count all of her ancestors and try to figure out, and based on the alignment of that generation, who's the most common ancestor.
Oh,
So what you must do, so you have a 15-minute assignment. So from now until 7 o'clock, you are to go into GEDmatch. You are to pull up her pedigree chart. If you are to pull up, you know your line. You know your historical history. You are also to run the GEDmatch for Cindy or for yourself because yours is the same. You're going to run GEDmatch in the group. And you're going to identify, you could even do a one-to-one autosomal with her kid ID. So let me put her kid ID in the chat. So you are to figure out what your marker is to Cindy, what generation you are to Cindy, and then looking at her tree, her pedigree chart, which of those ancestors, based on that alignment, that you line up with. And you are to figure out, look at the addresses, look at your addresses, figure out how do you line up with Cindy's pedigree chart. And I was going to put hers in the chat. Okay. So this is the only way we are going to get we're going to be able to figure out how we're related to someone. Hi, Eric.
Can you make that bigger? Because I'm just confirming the number.
I'm sorry, make what bigger?
What are you
The
doing?
number, her number.
What are you doing?
It's a M975981.
That's
Yes.
yes.
I have
Okay,
it
so
memorized.
well, only because I can kind of do some numbers, but I did a one-on-one with her because I'm still not in the group,
Whom?
and I have no matches.
Who? Norma?
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
So Norma, that's possible. Put your kit in the chat. Let me do some finagling. I'll play with Norma's while you guys research yours with hers. Now again, we may not match Cindy. Cindy matches 90% of the group, but we might not match Cindy. And
I'm saying there's nothing in her DNA.
No, put your
Just hold on a second.
okay. Yeah, put your thing in the chat. I want to be able to see if I can figure out something. I don't see nobody looking down. Yeah, this is a homework assignment for 15 minutes until 7 o'clock, 7:05. I want you guys to figure out what is your most common recent ancestor to Cindy, and then look at her pedigree chart to determine how you are related to her, potentially, in theory. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to pick back up with figuring this out. We're going to talk through it. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, Miss Normal. So sometimes, Miss Normal, what I will tell you while everyone else is working on their homework is sometimes you got to go low, honey. How low can you go? We got a limbo.
I'm just saying, I did, let me see.
Did you, let me see, Cindy. There is Cindy right there. I had to take, so you are, as far as, you are below 3. So I took 2. That's why you didn't see her right there. I literally had to take her to,
Take me down to 1 practically.
I took it down to 2. So now this is a thing that while
So
you
it won't let me see, it won't let me do it. I can't do it outside of the group.
correct.
So that's why I don't see her.
That is the power of being in a group. Yes, ma'am. And that's what I've learned. Outside of the group, you can only go to a 3. And because you are 2.4, 2.3s, you have some 3.6s, but they don't over number the 2 centimorgans. So being in the group, we at least, and so at 2 centimorgans, you're still 6 generations in.
Yeah, that's pretty far back. I can't even, well, I can go back so many groups. It's more, all the names and places she was talking about really don't match up except for one, and that's Lochapoka.
So
And that's Lee County.
right now. Let's not talk about it right now.
Well, I'm just saying, because I gotta go at 7.
Oh, okay. So for you, but again, think about it. You can't match everywhere that she talked about. You're gonna match one place if we're lucky, 2. I mean, not lucky, but potential 2. So that Lochapoka speaks to you.
Well, the thing about Lochapoka, it's too soon. It's my great grandfather. It's 1880s. It's the generations are 2, 5th, 4th, and 5th. So if you're talking 7 generations back, we're talking before I can even trace.
So do understand what I will say to you on that point. Most recent common ancestor, not the oldest. So all that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My most recent one is going to be 7 generations.
To Cindy.
Her, yes.
So that means if it's your great grandfather, whomever was at 4th and 5th, that just meant Cindy's relative was a grandparent potential, and it just carried down 2 more generations to be your most.
Right. But he was an MPE, and the father doesn't match anything or any place. So it only matches while he is in Lochapoka or Auburn.
So the goal.
So I mean, yeah. So the MPE is her great grandfather's brother, and they have a different name.
It's very possible if we're talking about 1850s, 60s.
Yeah, because his mother's name is Hardin, and she's out of Georgia.
Okay,
but can't really trace her
today yet.
Well, believe me, I've been doing this for 40 years, so every little thing I can get, I do. Problem is that trees, a lot of my trees are not my tree. The people that I try to connect to, if they will let me get that information, don't have it. And the Hardins, I can go forward, but I cannot go back.
So so it sounds to me, or this is a question. So for Cindy, and so you're going to be most privileged person in this whole group, because I was not going to do a deep dive today, but you got to go. They're doing their homework. So this is a good exercise of showing the conversation and the complexity. So it sounds like to me the location that she spoke of potential would be where you would look and focus your research for your ancestor, and lining your information up with hers to see if that's a possible connection. It doesn't stop her in with Cindy, but it could be a possible connection to take you further.
Right. So far, everything that she said and all the places that she mentioned
Mhm.
do not match any of the information that I have. And I'm not saying, because I have so many people that were either NPEs. I only have one grandparent that I can actually trace without problems. So I've got 3 grandparents that are NPEs.
Was your grandparent in question mulatto mixed?
Well, yeah,
Okay.
and the great grandfather.
Okay, so that would mean the great grandfather's mother, potentially, hypothetically, because I don't know.
Well, yeah, the great grandmother's on this side. The great grandmother is Black.
Right.
It's the great great grandfather is white.
And that
And
would
what I've been able to trace through DNA for this great great grandfather leads me to Georgia in this particular place with this particular family. And she has not mentioned any of that in hers.
so
And that's DNA matched.
so let me say this to you. We have to not be so strict with where we want our people to be.
Oh no, I'm not trying to be.
Our ancestors
I'm just trying to,
make it make
like you, put in the possibilities of where, because my tree is fairly spread. So, and I have talked to some of these people that are in Hawkinsville, Georgia.
Yeah.
That's where they originate from, or where I can trace their DNA. And I've got 3 or 4 matches in that DNA group. So,
But we have to give some consideration to people travel back and forth.
oh yeah,
We
oh
don't.
yeah, oh yeah,
We can't.
yeah. They
we-
travel right through Auburn to
we may
Birmingham.
not be able to clarify the
Yeah,
with strength the answer or the story to the connection. But
right,
all this is the exercise of definitely understanding, sending
right.
his DNA to you, going back 6 generations, and that is where you would investigate her family, her person. Maybe they was an attorney, and maybe they traveled for some reason. That's where that investigation has to occur.
But then that means that there's another white person that I don't know about, and that's a possibility.
Absolutely understandable. Absolutely.
And I mean, it could be any white person, considering how mulatto I am, and trying to figure out where people were and at what time.
Gotcha. So, okay. So, Miss Annette, do you still need the jet match number?
No, I don't need the number, but I can't figure out how to get to that GEDmatch file that you're looking at that shows the
For her?
common ancestor.
Okay. So
So I
Go
need
to
you to
her.
go back a couple of steps.
I'll step through it again with me, making sure I take a note of her.
I mean, I keep going back to GEDmatch and it won't let me lower the centimorgans below 7. So I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're not in the project. So, okay.
Right,
So from the home page.
right.
Okay, so hold on one second. Okay.
I'm in the same boat, I think. I just got home, so
Mhm.
yeah,
That's fine.
Ancestor Project.
Yep. All right.
Mhm.
Okay, so free tools, projects. Okay. So with the project, you can put anybody's number. It doesn't have to be your own. So you're gonna make
Right,
sure in the project you choose the group,
right.
longest group probably out there, and in that drop down, right under the group ID is where you're gonna lower it.
Under the group ID.
Where you put the kit number, I'm sorry, where you put the kit number. See that?
Right.
The next drop.
Well, when I click on the number, it goes straight to my name.
Yeah, when you wait, are you in this project?
Yeah, I think so.
You went to free tools and ancestor projects?
Free tools. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, say that again. What did you call it?
The very
Ancestor projects. Okay, I got you. That's where I was lost.
That's all right. And so in here is where you put
Right, I got it. I was in the wrong place.
And so it's Descendants of Barber.
yes, Descendants of Barber.
Mhm.
BBB, CCC, CC.
And the kit number we want is the A 988-415.
This one right here, M975981.
Oh, M9, what is it?
M975981.
Uh-huh. 5981. Oh, okay.
Okay, perfect.
I will say take your Cinnamorgans to 2. That's what my test is for tonight.
Yeah.
M.
Because if you don't, you're gonna miss people. And there's only 186 kits. And if you do a control, you're just looking for your name. So if you do a control find, Mr. Net, you're in here under ANE. If you control find McLean, so you are
Yes.
6 generations away. So you're in the same area as who just left or who's.
I don't have any. I don't have any connection with anybody except. Oh, there we are. I got Harvey Leslie, 6 generations away.
Hold on. So no, we're not talking about that right now. Give me a second.
All right, I'm sorry.
But that's okay. So
I found the right. I found the right place. That's the main thing.
Yeah. So again, this is Cindy's, and I know 2 is a lot, but when you're in a group, it's not as many and there's not as much noise. And the reason why I'm confident going low is because of the people in the group. I know 80% of you guys, and I know a lot of your surname stories. So I can say with confidence, like for me, if I see my name, but I don't see my daughter's, that's because she's old. Her generation is older. So I know
Now it's working.
or closer, or she got different DNA. I get that part. But I'm like, I should see her. Let me drop it down one more, see if I see her. Now I see her. So I understand with confidence when I do that. And when you lower it, you do pick up more people. You do. Whatever the reason is, we have these multiple lists of chromosomes. Like I said, I'm not a DNA nobody today on that part. All I care about, do I match you and where? That's all I care.
Okay, I see that I am related to Cynthia.
Okay, so hold the phone. Don't speak it. Not yet.
Okay.
You'll pick up the show. But that's the goal, to see you're related, then go to her pedigree chart.
Got it.
And then figure out where it lines up at.
Okay.
Counting. And remember, we got to count 6 generations in from the base, which is her.
Right.
And the top part is her father part out of Germany. I believe that's where it was. So we're going to be related on her mother's side, which is at the bottom. So counting 1, the first line is the next dots are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Starts on her tree with Jessie. Jessie is a 7.
And excuse me, how are you getting to her pedigree chart from the Ancestor Projects page?
Okay, so from the projects, Cindy, anytime you see a tree.
I don't see a tree though. I mean, so I just see all the people who are related to her.
So hold on. So you should be able. You don't see. Oh, you won't
in
see
the Ancestor Projects. So I see.
So do this. Click on. What's it? I thought.
Is it submit to MKA?
No. I thought Patricia. I thought your pedigree was in here. What happened, Patricia?
She uploaded it today, but it hasn't shown the tree yet.
Hasn't linked. Okay.
I'm gonna work on. Okay.
So just go to so back out and just do your name, and then you'll see her listed. We're looking at her list, so that's why you can't see her tree.
Okay, I'm looking at her pedigree and I'm looking through the entire thing and I still don't have a clue.
Don't speak it. Don't speak it.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
First, second, third, fourth,
not yet.
fifth,
okay.
7th. Who is that? I can't read it.
So let me see. So you are. This is
1,
Kathy
2, 3, 4, 5.
Kanika. Okay, so Kathy, you are 5.8778, 5.87 centimorgans against 4 Levada. But you have a couple. Then there is Kanika.
I have Levada and Carrie and
then C.E. Williams, all of them. So all of them are at 5. Levada's at 5.8, and the rest are in the 6 generations.
Where are you seeing that though? I'm not. because I'm seeing like 3-7 and 3-1, and so which
Okay,
which
so
These are
who are you
generations.
looking under? Are you looking under Cindy?
I'm looking under Cindy still because I
Okay.
had to find Lavada's number.
Okay, so
Okay.
This is
looking under
hers.
Cindy's, I just searched for Kanika to find
Right,
the
right,
list right here, the Merca.
right.
So Lavada is 5.87 generations, starting with the first
Oh,
person.
the generations. I'm sorry. Well,
In,
that's what I
in,
was.
in here, it's called most recent common ancestor, or this column. MRC.
Oh, MCRA. Okay.
MCRA, MRCA.
Yeah,
That
that's
tells you the generation they're
yes,
in.
that's
Okay. I thought you were talking about the Center Morgans. Okay. Yes.
that's cool.
Oh,
Although I see 6.63 for Lavada. That's weird.
It's still in the 6th generation. So the
Yeah.
goal is for us to get close to where the common
Gotcha.
we're related to. Then we review. Okay. So is
And
everybody
my sister is. Uh-huh.
have everybody identified their generation?
Sort of.
Yes, I have.
Everybody knows their generation.
Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
5.
And so okay, so you're 5. Okay, so hold
Wait a
that.
minute, wait, I'm looking at, I gotta go to 6.
3,
I have
Dang, that's
8.
a long way out.
Well,
Yeah, I
that's
have 8.
that's the
6,
point. That means that's how far back we are related
3, 4, 5,
Wow.
to
6.
her.
May I say this is so excellent to be allowing us to do this with you
Absolutely.
at the same time,
That's
instead of just hearing you and then trying to do it on our own later? Girl,
Girl,
I'm
I'm all
so
about
impressed and
working.
happy.
I'm all about progress.
This is wonderful.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's why I love having these groups. So, okay, back to my little PowerPoint presentation. So now that we have counted in, we know
Yes.
how we're related. We just don't know who and through what. I get that, Mr.
Yeah.
Everybody else. Today I might be there with you. Okay, so now this.
Well, we got that far. I'm
We got
6
that far.
generations out. I see
you go.
one familiar surname.
All right, so hold the pound, hold the fort.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
now, so this is the exercise. So generation 1, based on my count, that was Megan and Patricia. That was Cindy's daughter and sister, right?
Right.
Okay.
So you're in the JEDCOM right now or something?
No,
Because
so
I'm
I reviewed the JEDCOM for her, and I just know that the top people for under Cindy's list was her family at a minimum. At a minimum. Okay. So now we're gonna look at who's matching her at 2. And 2 was this column here, the second one, right?
But how do we get to that though? I'm still not there.
So hold on.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. That's why I'm doing that's why I'm doing this. So we are
So I'm back at the homepage. So I look under Lavada. I would look under Lavada. No. So how do I get to her JEDCOM? Because I didn't see it in the listing.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's the frustrating thing.
Generation 1.
You would have to look under. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it for you. Give me anybody's, yours or Lavada's or anybody's.
Okay. I'll do Lavada's because I don't match. But Lavada, she does. She's A683369.
Okay.
And she's the closest of all my people.
So again, because you're in a group, right? If Lavada matches, are you related to Lavada?
Yes.
I know you're. Honey, take it down to 1 just to see if you show. If you don't show, you just have no DNA, right? It's so because you know you match Lavada, take it a little further to see if you show. You just didn't get enough, so we can manipulate the Centimorgan number to see if we see ourselves. If we don't, then we know we just don't. Maybe it's another family member. We know we're related.
Oh, well, yeah. So I know my sister is related at 7.5.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm confident that we are related, but I just don't see
So
the
now
JEDCOM.
so now that I'm looking at you, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a person's name, look at the list, and then search for whatever you're looking for. She shows because we're not looking at her JEDCOM list, her JEDmatch list. We're looking at someone else's. So she's showing at 5 generations to Lavada. Close to 6. I think I did a search on 2 generations, on 2
Most
I did
Mason.
2 centimorgans.
Okay.
So now that I'm looking at Lovatas and anyone has a tree, you'll be able to click it and then figure out how you're related to that person because that JetCom is there. So that's the power of everybody upload your JetComs. And now you'll be able to see her pedigree. Okay.
Hmm.
And then you're going to click that. And then you're going to click pedigree. And that's going to give you her pedigree, what we're looking at. Now, I know you were in the car, so I'm going to do it visual because you're watching real quick. So if
Yeah, I'm on the phone though. I wish I could get on.
oh, well, you'll see the,
Okay,
you'll
that's
see
okay.
the recording. So
I
there's
have you on.
little arrows at the end of a person's name.
3.
What the arrow means is there more information. But when you click that arrow, you lose sight of everything else. So how to get around that, go to the top of the page and just add more generations so that everything is on one page. To make it a little, and then you can print, then you can mark and highlight and make it easier, enlarge if you got to on your printer, you know, just to make it easier kind of thing. So, and the other thing I was showing them is to see the descendants, you're going to want to go to one of the oldest people in the list. So she has like 11 generations documented in this pedigree chart. So I click on the older person, and now when I hit descendants, it goes top down. Okay. So that's how we, and I see Marengo, but that made me hush. I'm going out of turn. So, you know, the goal is you're looking for locations. You're looking for us locations, dates, and see how it lines up with our list of ancestors. And then looking and building trees for that person to see what more similarity can be going on in there, and then having a conversation with the person if they'll talk to you. So it starts there. Okay, back to the PowerPoint. So now at 2 generations, no one was identified based on what I was looking at. At 3 generations, that's the 3 in now, there's no one identified. And all that means is I don't have that many people in our group. And I'm good with that because having this tight of a group, we at least get to talk with each other and figure it out. And it's not such a long list that is daunting. At 4 generations, there is one person. I know him. He is a distant cousin to me on my father's side. Most of you are related to me on my grandmother's side, on my mother's side. So I know who he is, but it just amazed me that he was 4 generations in with Cindy out of all of us. And his family rears from Florida and what is it? Abbeville, South Carolina. That's where his line rears from. South Carolina. Abbeville, South Carolina. 5 generations. Going this far in, we have I don't know if is Ellen on. Harvey, Leslie, Karen Langford is on. Miss Karen. So what name? So this is the exercise. You got a minute to tell us if who you believe is related to you on Cindy's file and what's the location. You may not know, and that's okay. But what are some strong theories? That's the question. And that's what I want everyone to be able to share. So Miss Karen, if she's still on.
I don't see her. Let me see if she's down here. Oh, she's here. She's on.
It was Karen. Okay.
Yeah.
Is she muted?
I got back to where I'm back at WikiTree. Wait a minute, let me go here.
Karen, are you on? She's there. I mean, she's on. I don't know if she's muted or not.
Oh, I'm so sorry. She's having problems with her microphone. Okay, Karen, put it in the chat. I remember now. Put it in the chat. Let us know how you believe you may be related to Cindy. Next, is Marie on? I don't believe Jimmy or Jacob is on. So John Albert Leslie is related to Ellen Leslie from the Facebook group. I don't think Ellen came on. I don't, is KMB or Mo on? I don't think Rick is on. So out of Lovato Williams, that's all right. You're up, Miss Karen. So Levada is 5.87. So tell us how you believe you possibly may be related to Cindy, if you figured that out.
I'm sorry, but I cannot find the GEDCOM to even see Cindy's list. I can't see Cindy's
Okay,
list of family members. I just
that's all
don't
right.
see
Once I'm done
how
with this
to see
exercise,
it.
I'll help you with that. Once I'm done with this exercise. But basically, Cindy is related to, now it's Kanika you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then
Well,
Cindy
no.
Williams is you. And
Oh,
then
I'm sorry. I can't see. I'm sorry. I can't see what your screen. I'm on the phone and I unfortunately can't see it.
so
So,
what I'm showing
um,
is the people that when you look
wow.
Center Morgan Institute, Levada, Kanika, and C.E. Williams are related
Okay.
to Cindy. And actually, that should have been in
Okay.
Generation 6.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to Generation 6. At Generation
Okay.
6, these are all the people that were related to Cindy.
Let me make a screenshot of that.
These people are on the phone. Okay, so who else is here? Annette? All
Yeah.
right, you're up on deck. You're next.
What? Oh God, what am I looking?
How do you believe you may be related to Cindy?
I'm in Cindy's file, and the only thing that I got to as past Generation 6 was the Carr family.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Uh-huh.
Carr. I mean, that's a name that has showed up in my Macon County research. I don't know for a fact that I have a relationship to Carr, but the name keeps surfacing.
Okay.
So that would be something more for me to explore.
Beautiful. And so that now you know where you could have that conversation with her, and it would be a strengthened conversation because it's circulating. You would look at her tree. Now you're not just looking at her pedigree, you're going to look at her tree. You're going to look at where people were living, records for that area, census information for that area. Somebody could have been, who knows, what was it? Person that went around managing all the slaves. I'm tired.
Overseer.
The overseer.
Thank you. Person could have been an overseer. So at the end of the day, we weren't there. We won't be able to solidify this story, but DNA is telling us where to go.
Right.
Burka is telling us possibly what to look for. That's the goal of this.
Right.
All right. I don't.
But there are other possibilities that I see commonalities for, like Demopolis in Marengo County.
Yes.
I'd have to explore that a little bit, but the surname Carr was the first thing that jumped out at me.
Beautiful. So with your printout, you're going to highlight that. You're going to potentially talk with her. You could, after you see her tree, floating tree, see what pops up with other people that are researching this information. That's how we go further. Okay, who else has a possible connection on the 6th generation? Because I don't know if anybody else is on the phone right now.
That would be me.
Who is me? Eric?
Eric, yeah.
Hey.
Where were you in my list?
Huh?
Where was you in my list? I done messed up. Go ahead, cuz.
Yeah. So I'm looking at her GEDCOM, and a lot of the surnames and locations aren't quite. I mean, of course, things like Lochapoka come up, and that makes sense, but none of the surnames are clicking. And I'm doing a search in my tree, and Mason is one, but that apparently shows up a tree in Maryland. So, yeah, I've got some deep diving to do on this.
So one thing I'll tell you, what I remember, my grandmother used to say to me, we were related to Masons. That is a surname I haven't figured out yet. I haven't researched. Now, there were Masons in the area. Someone came to me and he was a Mason. And I was like, okay. And Eric and I are related through the Leslie, and now that you know Leslie is tied to us, and Hootens and Wootens. So that particular line up there. So that's something that we both need to investigate, the Mason name. I forgot all about that till you shared that. And because you're related to me through Hootens and Leslie's, I now have confidence to go look a little further at that name, right?
Right.
Because it spoke to you also. So this is how we further our research, triangulating it like this. Anybody else have Generation 6? Okay, let's go to generation 7. So now we're into 7 generations from Cindy's line, and that's 2 pagers. So
Oh, my.
2 pages. And so anybody in here have a 7?
I have a 7, and I went to Mason also. I have some Masons, don't know how they match, and they're from Macon County.
Okay. So
I didn't check Marshall to see what he had.
Mason's interesting. So Mason now is really an interesting candidate for the 3 of us. Emily and I are still triangulating in with strength what our ties are, but we go back to 7 generations to her. What's that location? Where's Mason at again?
Macon County, Alabama.
Born in
What?
Macon?
I don't remember now, but
But
Macon County. Let me go back and see if I can go back to that tree. Go back to her pedigree. Hold on a minute.
I thought I saw
Yeah, my
Excuse me,
my
Delbra.
oldest Mason goes to Middlesex County, Virginia.
right.
Beautiful.
Through the Aylesworth line
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
and the Mason line, Mason Aylesworth.
Beautiful. So now we
Excuse me,
know. Go ahead. Who's speaking? I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Delbra, would you mind putting on the screen what the GEDCOM is again at the 7th generation? Because I can't access it myself.
What her
But if,
her GEDmatch ID is?
yes, whatever you guys are looking at to find these names and places, if you wouldn't mind just putting it on the screen again at the 7th generation.
Oh, hold on.
'Cause
Oh,
I can look at the name once I see it on the screen. I just can't access it here for some reason.
You're trying to see the 8th generation, because that's where I am, 8th.
so 7th.
Okay,
So what
thank you.
happens is, so let me share it with what happens is, okay, so I'll go to here. I think this is what you are
Did
looking.
somebody say Alan?
Not yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
okay.
have Allen's.
Not
Okay.
yet. You're gonna get a chance. I want to be able to focus on names and who's connected without us having confusion.
Yeah, I understand.
So
Hey,
whoever,
let me finish the first.
yeah, and so who is 7th? So Emily was Mason, and
Right, and mine is James Mason at 1835 from Macon County, but it also goes back to James Allen from Edgefield, and then Robert from Edgefield, and then Norman out of Birmingham,
there you go. So that's
going up the road.
so Mason. So what's weird is that 7 counting in? It may 6 or 6. It could be because it's way over. So that's where Middlesex is coming from, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so and then Norman had a son, and he's still in Middlesex, and then he ended up in Georgia. And then from there, he married Allen, Zulia Allen. So we're looking at this stretch right here when it comes to the Mason name and everybody within there, just trying to triangulate and figure out who is the connected person. But Norm ended up in Birmingham, right?
He was born there.
He was born there. So somebody, James went to Birmingham. So it's somewhere between James Mason. Zulia is just the wife. She was an Allen, but that may be where the Allen name. Here is a Macon. There's Allen right there. Look at there. So they started in Macon, then they went to Lochapoka, Pokey, whatever we're gonna call that, Lee County. But this is how we get our strength of conversation with Cindy.
We had heard that James Mason met Zulia at a girls' school in Birmingham. Is that right, Patty?
Yeah, that's what we've heard, or found, or heard, I guess.
Okay.
And that person is deceased now, but
Right.
This is
whatever.
amazing. This is just amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
It
blown
is.
away.
So
James Mason was in insurance.
Yeah,
Ooh,
for
he
He was an
traveled.
insurance agent.
So he
Southern
traveled.
Mutual.
Look
Yeah.
at him. He traveled
Uh-huh.
right there. And then there's a Charlotte down here. I don't know who the heck she is, but she's another Mason, and she may be out of the line of fear. But at the end of the day, when we didn't have a clue, this is how we triangulate this to figure out how to start our conversations. But what I love about having a group is the collectiveness of this. And what you know, what you share with what I know, builds a deeper story. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And Norman's mother, Zulia Allen, is the one who goes back to the cars.
Her here. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Anybody else got Emily, was that all of your names?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Anybody else got any other names in the seven
Well,
generations?
I think for mine, it's really going to be the Virginia people. I honestly do, because
Kanika?
Lavada, Charles, Kanika, Lavada, Charles. I think it's the Virginia connection. I think it's
Okay.
back that far.
Yep.
The name, although one of my first cousins on my dad's side, which is the Bullock and the Macon and all that stuff, he is in there. Michael Chick is listed once, probably generation almost 8. But anyway, but most of them are my mom's, and that would be probably the Virginia and the Maryland, unless some of our ancestors were sold down south, which is something I'm looking at.
Right.
Sold away from the rest of the family, but otherwise, I'm in the middle of Virginia as being the possible. And the names, I'm not sure. Taylor, it looks interesting,
Yeah, we did.
but they're in the like 7 generation area.
And again, it's where, so the most recent to her goes all the way back to 7, not 4, not 3.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
7 with her. And so
Mhm.
it's somewhere in this stretch. And so, you know, if we work together on the Mason name, then we start looking at records and different things like that. Or we'll flush this out with the quickness.
Mhm.
It is
It's
definitely doable. So
afterwards, can I chat with you and maybe get a copy of this, what you're seeing here, since I don't see the GEDCOM, just like just a copy of it, and then
okay.
I'll look through it
I'm
more
oh,
carefully
and you're on
later.
your phone. You're on your phone. I think that's your challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on your phone. And that's okay. And that's I'm recording it. So okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, anybody else at 7? Because there is 2 pages of 7s.
Can I ask a question?
Yep.
I want to ask Cynthia if she knows a Sandra Sparks. Does she have a connection to Sandra Sparks or a Shonda Power?
They're not in this group?
No.
I could do a search that way. Just a second. They're on GEDmatch though?
Come up under Allen's on GEDmatch. They come up on a lot of names, but they're under Allen right now for America.
Y'all gonna talk about this when this presentation is over.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Listen, we so quick want to get into these deep dives, you know what I mean? But that's the power. Oh my God, love this. Okay. So you guys have helped me flush out my 7.57 to Cindy. Sounds like it's somewhere near Mason. I have not identified where Mason falls and lines up. So that's a cool, interesting possibility. For me, I don't think anybody else in here is at 7. Okay, we're at 8. Generations in.
I'm at 8.
All right. Who is speaking?
Doll Hargrove.
And I don't know, Doll, I thought I saw you at the other one, but go ahead, Miss Doll. What speaks to you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm showing that I'm like 8.1 generations from her.
Okay. Oh,
Now I went through her pedigree. I don't see I can't get past 7 on the pedigree. I don't see anything past 7.
oh, okay. So
Change the number.
at the very
Yeah.
top of the page is a drop
Yeah, I
down.
went. I did that. Okay, I did that. I went to the very top of the page.
Thing on the page. Okay. So what we've been talking about earlier, you probably heard, was this Mason Allen in
Yes.
let me search for Macon, because Doll's heavy Macon. Yeah, Allens are in Macon.
Okay.
So is Allen anywhere, speaks to anything to you or not yet?
Not yet. How would I see 8 generations on? Even though I went up and I did click the 8 generations, I don't. I could see 1 through 7,
Oh,
but
okay.
not
So hold
8.
on. So let me show you where I lined up PowerPoint up for 8. Oh, snap. Okay, so 7 was here. So the 8th would be at James Duncan. So hold on, let me go to the pedigree chart and look for Duncan. So 8 is, if James, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jesse Duncan hits near 8.
Duncan.
Anything
Okay,
Acromat.
in
Duncan.
this column, anything in this column. So we want to start with,
Okay, I see James Duncan.
yep, Jesse, Keziah, Taylor,
Jesse,
Are you looking at pedigree or descendants?
pedigree.
yep,
Okay.
Robert
Okay,
Allen,
I see the Duncan. I see Jesse, and I see Keziah Taylor.
yep, Robert Allen, Nancy Ham in South Carolina, Vincent.
Okay.
So what we're looking for is going to be the surname and not just where they're living or where they died, because they could have traveled and, you know, our could have had sex with our ancestor. And so we kept a name. So just trying to see where the commonalities could line up with her.
Okay. You know what I think is they could be related on my grandmother's side. I haven't really found them. You know, Caucasians on my father's side I had, but not on my grandmother's side.
Gotcha. So that's a missing side for you. Okay.
Yeah, that's a mystery to me about who they are. I know that there's some because when I do my share matches on the ancestry, I can tell by their pictures or you know how you color code. So
Right.
mine are color coded, and they fall under that category. But I don't know who the person is.
Another beautiful thing. Thank you for even what you just shared, because it reminds me. Now that I know I'm looking for names and DNA, right? I'm going to take these last names, Allen, Duncan, Mason. I'm going to go to Ancestry and I'm going to be like, okay, let me do a DNA match for Mason. Virginia, Mason, Alabama. Anything that was standing out in there, I'm going to get to searching for the last name and seeing if I get any matches. Where we said Virginia. I'll just do a Virginia, USA. Make it global. And then it could be on my mama's side, could be on my daddy's side. And there we go. Some people got Mason in their tree. Apparently, I hadn't even thought to look. And on my mother's side and my father's side. And so to some extent, we know we can filter it out. I'm going to just do maternal because most of you are my maternal line. And then I'm going to look at big trees. And I'm just going to go start looking for, this is what I do right here. I cut the tree. And I just start looking for the word Mason. Emily does it differently. But this is what I do. Bam! Look at there. Ooh, been busting it down finding my ancestors.
I love it. I love it.
This is the bomb.com. And so he was white, but so was she white, free person of color? Then I go, they ain't nobody got no information because something was going on with her. Daniel probably wasn't making people happy because what was going on with Anne. So you know what I'm saying? That's what I do. That's what I do. So I go back to I go back here and be like, where was Mason at? Let me follow her line. Oh my God, I get a little happy. I saw Anderson. I gotta avoid that one right now. Mason, there we go. And I just start looking. Where were you? Where did you end up? You still in Virginia?
Elizabeth.
You still okay? You was Russell County, Alabama.
Yay, that's right across, that's close to me.
Right down the road.
Right down the road, honey. I live in the same county that my Masons were in.
Yeah. Really?
I live in Lee County and where a lot of our people are from.
Cool. This is how we triangulate that thing to figure out how we're related to somebody.
So you now have some good stuff to look at.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about Mason as a name. I forgot. Thank you, Eric, for that tip. Forgot all about it. But now the question is, where was the disconnect? What happened? And how do we connect it? Opelika. I've seen Opelika. So yeah, and then it becomes a question for me to throw Carlton in the group. Then the next thing I do, I go to their profile and I be like, oh, Carlton, you suck. You ain't got no jet match on there. But then I message him. And I just do that. I just said, so hey, cuz, I see you're researching the Masons. I think I'm Ken. Are you on jet match? Can you send me your ID? That's all I say. Oh no, I don't know about it. Let me get you in jet match. You know, so that's where my conversation has been pushing people into jet match.
Yeah.
And then I throw them in this group, and then I'm retriangulating this thing. And mind you, his name was Jones. I would have been looking up Jones, trying to figure out how he lines up with all my Joneses. And that possibly is not even where it's at. Now, Mason may not be it. Don't get me wrong. But it starts a healthy conversation, and he comes down to Alabama. It can't get no better than that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically that's what I've been doing to bust it down. And as long, and that's why I'm sharing this, because it's not as complicated. We just step through the process. And if you do what I do, you find that commonality, you search for that name, you go to Ancestry, we go to all these other tools that has our DNA, and we just start plugging names in and seeing if it brings anything back, and then start a conversation. But if we can push them into these groups, as you can see, we got to go down to 2 centimorgans and 1 sometime. Right now, 2 has been the fair one, but we got to go all the way down there now. So anybody else got an 8? Anybody else got an 8 centimorgan? I mean, an 8 generation. Okay, have I missed anybody in the group? Okay, good. Everybody had an opportunity to share. So awesome. So I believe based on woos and ahs, you guys kind of like understand how to. So this is how to take it further. This is how to take it further.
Interesting.
This my new thing. I am not no DNA expert, but every time I work with people, they're like, "Well, your centimorgan say this, and you line up with this person in this centimorgan." It's centimorgan. Yeah, centimorgans.
Yeah.
So
that's what's. Go ahead.
So basically, what I did is, and I'll show you how I did it. Going down to a 1 it locked up my Excel. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to do my presentation. And there's not even that many, but somewhere I was copying like programming files from the website, and when it tries to put it in a Word doc and Excel doc, it was locking up everything, and I was like, okay, you're not happy with a 1. I took it to a 2. And so what I'm doing, I'll show you what I did with this spreadsheet. So at 2 centimorgans or 3 centimorgans, I only matched Cindy on the 17th chromosome. I didn't match her nowhere else. So what I did, and I'll show you how I did it. It comes with you being computer, not even savvy, but not afraid to jump into the computer and do what you got to do. At 3 centimorgans, the only place I hit Cindy was 17 centimorgans. And then when I looked at this, I was like, who do I know? What surname are they researching? Where does this line up? So at 17 centimorgans, I don't see Eric. And that's what I was telling Emily when I looked at this. I didn't see Eric. I see Gina. Gina is researching birds. I thought Dennis Eubanks was researching birds, but he's researching a different name. So what I was trying to do was, let me sort this information by the centimorgans and let me see the commonalities, what they say is based on where we're matching. I don't know if it's blue eyes, brown eyes, no nails, long nails. I was just trying to take it a little step further, understanding what surnames these people are researching. What I am going to do for this group, I had created a shared spreadsheet where you'll be able to see your name and add your surnames and maybe some detailed information, so that when I see Karen Langford, I could go to the spreadsheet, see the surname she's researching, and then be able to understand what am I focusing on based at a glance on her surnames that way. But this is, I think, the next level we could go to. I ain't there yet. I think it just takes work. Let's research the surnames and ancestry, see what comes back, look at their tree, see what we can build off of their tree, having these conversations. And that's how we're going to figure this out. So, go ahead.
You are too busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I am blown away. I just learned so much this evening. I really appreciate this time that you spent with us.
Phenomenal. You are so very. I'm grateful that you guys gave me your time. I don't need nothing from nobody. But sometimes when I want to do a presentation, come on in. I got something for you, and I ain't gonna tell you what it is till you show up.
Deborah,
yes.
I just like to say that I matched Cindy about 7 or 8 times, 2 or 3 times on the same Centimorgan.
Oh,
So
that's a
yeah.
strong,
Really?
that's a strong.
I match her on twice on 2, 3 times on 5, 4 times on 6, on 8, 13, 20, and 1.
Mm.
Wow.
Who is this talking?
Emily,
Emily.
Emily,
And so once, and I don't know, Emily was trying to explain to
Virginia.
me. She might know a little bit more than me. She was trying to explain to me. I was like, I ain't there yet. But she was trying to explain to me the difference with these different numbers and having multiple times of seeing those matches. I don't know how to explain it. Like this person here, Sylvia, is matching 2 times, right?
Yeah.
On the 10th Centimorgan and whatever, David's, but what does this mean? Why do I see 2 of these? Why do I see 3 of these? So I don't know that explanation. All I know is she's at 10, I'm at 10. Who is she researching? So that kind of thing is what I'm looking at. The last thing I want to show you guys when it comes to Jet Match and having the group and having it high or having it low, the Centimorgans, is this. So we're gonna take a look at 3. Do I want to look at mine? No, I need to look at somebody else's. What?
did mine.
What is this? Who is trying to talk? Who talking?
Emily,
Oh, Emily, give me your number.
A668134.
I don't know if this is gonna do what I wanted to do, but I don't
Okay.
know why this is scratching my computer. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you is by going to 3, what we're doing is it's always the top one's going to be who we most know, and then we're going to start seeing other people, right? So what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to share with you, this is the only people we see. One person here, Levada's only one time. I'm gonna pay attention to Dal and I'm gonna pay attention to Levada because I only see one. Vincenzo is my cousin. So at some point, I want to be able to help you guys to understand with clarity. Tierra is a cousin I just found here in Rochester on my daddy's side. So some of these are not Alabama. They're not. Don't assume everybody in our group is Alabama. She's matching me, I believe, in Alabama and Jamaica and South Carolina. So I have more than one group. But the core of these people, everybody is hitting Alabama. They are hitting Alabama, but some are hitting on another line somewhere else. Okay, so now we're going to go out of here. We're going to lower this Centimorgan lower to a 2. And you start seeing when we do that, we're going to go back down to Emily. We're going to pull more Centimorgans than we even thought. Oh, I said Doll. Look at there. Look how many Centimorgans we pull going down to a 2. And so what that basically means is she's going to match on more Centimorgans than what we saw. But because we didn't lower it, we're missing it. So that's why being in a group allows us manipulate this a little further so that we can see who we match. And then we can articulate and speak clarity with more clarity as to how we're related. So I might got beaten up trying to help people out, do what I'm telling y'all. So since they wasn't trying to receive it, I'm gonna tell y'all. Because I got slammed. I'm in a Jamaica group and the Jet Match group. They was like, ha ha. I thought April Fool was yesterday. That's exactly. I was like, ooh. I said, well, your issue ain't my issue. I'm sorry, my issue ain't your issue. I didn't have endogamy because we couldn't do that. But nonetheless, so this is really about how to get the power out of these tools. And go ahead. So it's
Deborah, there's a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Audrey.
Thank you.
Oh, hello. I'm very new and I'm very new to all of this. And so I just want to know if there's some resource. I'm completely lost. So is there some resource that I can access that will help me to just begin to understand what's going on?
So what I have been doing is just take the time we connect. What I'll show you is in the beginner stage. So I'll walk through it. Everybody might not know. Hey, it's just 7:41. What else y'all got to do on Sunday night? But I'll try to do it quickly. All right. So are you in GEDmatch?
Yes, I am.
Because you're in the group. Okay. So let's say, for instance, you ask someone for their GEDmatch number and they're like, okay, here's my number. The very first thing, all I want to know is, am I related to you? All I want to know is, are we kin? So, oh gosh. Let me see. I thought it would pop up a number, but it ain't gonna pop up a number.
What's your number, Audrey?
Yeah, give me your number. Thank you. You know your kid number?
Oh, are you asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, I know I don't know it offhand. Let me find it. I've got, okay, my kit number is A819169.
Okay. So whenever you want to check just to see if you're even related to a person, at a minimum, your kid, their kid, and then go down here and change this centimorgan to 3. Go to the minimum. If they'll, whatever the minimum is, if you're not in the project, accept that. You may not get everybody, but you want to go to the minimum. So you are here, and I'm starting to see at a minimum, all I care about is seeing that table. If I see one table, we cousins. That's what I do.
Wow, you all match a lot.
We do for how far back we're going to be related. So you and I match at 4.1 centimorgans. Another thing I will tell you guys, the power of having a relative in here. My dad blessed. I'm gonna do it this way. And so after you know you're related, the next thing that's kind of cool, I'm gonna do it with me and my brother to show you guys something. So this is my kid, and this is my brother kid. And over here, the minimum is 7. They will not let you go to a 3. So we already know we're going to be missing some people. We'll start with what we see. So what this is doing is going to compare everyone that's related to both of us. Now, what was cool about having a family member? So this is the thing. So this is everybody related to both of us, right? And one thing I do like about this view, I just go to this column right here. Other than seeing the generation, let me see your GEDmatch. That's all. I want to see the pedigree chart. I look for all of the pedigree charts. That's all I want to see. The rest of y'all, I don't know. But let me go look for the pedigree charts. Because I'm trying to understand how we're related. And not having a chart doesn't help me. Now, this is who matches all of us. This one is going to be who only match me. In GEDmatch, there's 2,000 people who match me. My brother's kid, however, look how many people match my brother.
Wow.
Okay.
Look, I went on the GEDmatch Facebook page. Why does my brother got 3 times the amount than me? This is cray-cray. Why we ain't even got, he can't have 400 more? No, he got 3 times the number.
Wow.
So I got smart. I said, oh, okay, that's what y'all want to do. I then went under people who match one or both. I use his kid and my kid so I could get bang for our buck. And that's how come this line is so long. Because I used 2 family members to compare, and it merged the list.
Okay.
So that's how I'm trying to tell you. So yeah. So I found that astounding when I was like, let me just see what this does when I combine me and my brothers or compare me and my brothers. But to discover this boy got 4,000 more hits than me astounded me. And another cool thing, I don't know if it's under free. You can see not surnames, people who have jet comps. I'm trying to remember where it is. There is where you all, I only want to see a list of people with jet comps. And that's what's cool. Instead of me trying to put this in a spreadsheet, then getting rid of anything that's a blank column, all the work I got to do, they do have an option that says, show me JetCom to all, JetCom search, JetComs, find, check. I think JetCom to all might be it. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out and put it in a group. But basically, it's show me everybody that only have a JetCom. And that was really cool, a really cool tool to be able to see. I don't know if you have to pay for it though. Some of this is so anyway. So that to help you with the question you were asking about being a newbie. So once I figured out how we're related, it's kind of cool to see who matched both of us with what I just showed you. Then because you're in a project, you're going to go to free tools, and the last option is ancestor projects. You're going to choose the very long one in your list. You're going to put your kid here, and at a minimum, go to 3. Choose most recent common ancestor, because it's going to group it by your most recent common ancestor. And there's only 168 kits in this list. Some people manage more than one kit. So the top people is me, my brother is going to be the people you're related to. They're going to have the most centimorgans to you. Now, the 3 areas you want to pay attention to, this is their kit number. So if you want to do a little bit more deep dive, if you happen to click that link, it's going to go to the one-to-one that I just showed you.
Okay.
That's what that link does. So you want to pay attention to the MRCA, most recent common ancestor. This is the closest person that you're related to with that person.
Okay.
And so all of these is my brother, cousin, my daughter, and then here's a cousin. Now, where you want to start in our group, people with trees. That is the power. Know how far away they are to you. Do they have a tree? And once you click on that tree, you click on this JetCom number, you'll be able to see their pedigree chart, which is what we've been talking about tonight.
Oh, okay.
And you know, well, from him, he was 4 generations for me. And this is Mr. Fortune. I think Kanika knows him. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would start Hill, Lindsay. Bottom line, I'll tell you where now. I know where it went. He was Bird. I was like, hold the phone, wait a minute. I know Bird. This is how I was able to go far back. And this line for me is a free person of color. I have not had a free person of color until now. And now I have 2. So
I was recently contacted by somebody on Ancestry, and the name was like Lemon, and she said to me that I matched her on her free person of color line, and I haven't gotten back to her yet to investigate that.
So now you know how to take it further.
Yes.
Honey, do you have a Jet Match number? If not, so I've shown tonight how to download it from Ancestry, upload it to Jet Match, and start by searching the person just to see how they're related to you, the fact that they are. Another thing I'll tell you guys, when I didn't match someone, I literally tested them with my brother and he did. That is the power of having at least what I have learned. They've like men pull more DNA. You clearly just saw it tonight. They wasn't lying. And I was astounded, but all it does is show me more matches. So, hey, so if I don't match you, I check my brothers. So that is, if you get a male to be in there, use that person. Emily, you got your cousin, pull your cousin together like I just did, and now burn through those matches if possible. So I am not going to extend this night. Is there any more questions?
Just want to say to Audrey that she was asking about a resource also, and in Jed Match, there are videos that goes with each area that you could watch the video that will help explain it to you.
Thank you for that. And I'll show you right here, actually. So I'll go home. Home has, check out our videos in our education page. Sometimes I'm in a particular area and I'm like, I want to figure this area out. And I'm like, they have a video for the area.
Okay.
Right at the top. And it has been helpful because I was like, what's a Merca? what the heck is that? Then I went there, I was like, I love you guys. It's my generation. That's all I care about. So the videos absolutely were very helpful. But sometimes it's helpful to have hand holding. Let me walk this through with you on my computer and my thing so I can do it in my space. So I know the power of that because that's me. I need to walk through what you're doing. Me showing you mines, and then you go home and it's like, what did she do? So so what my prayer is I want to try to do this each month with another person, deep diving that person. You guys have the power now of how to create your own breakthroughs. No, without me being here. But let me know if you're doing that. Then I may avoid that name or bring that name in so that we can deep dive into that name. What I've done is I literally have gone in and I've triangulated all of y'all. So, because I'm trying to figure out if this is the name, how many people are common to that name. We all need to take a look at this name because we are matching on so many surnames, so many different places and ways, Georgia, Virginia, Louisiana, it's all over the place. And it feels daunting and confusing. We take it one name at a time and we go and we connect with people with that surname in all of the tools we're using. Now we know how to speak to our relationships with them. So thank you guys. Any other questions?
Just thank you. Any Carters out there? Roy's from Virginia, Carters. Yeah, no, thank you. This is great. This is great. I've only been one of those people that looks at the centimorgans and the DNA painting and all that other stuff that deals with the numbers and what chromosomes do we match on and all that. I have never really looked closely enough at the GEDCOM part in the way that you've done it. It's so clear. So thank you so much. I just can't see Cindy's GEDCOM for some reason. It's very clear. So
yeah. And I thank you again for your time. And Emily, you got your hand up? I came back.
Put a message in there, a direct message into Stephanie Dawkins, and I was wondering if she'd seen the message. Stephanie?
You're on mute, honey. Unless something's wrong with her phone.
Maybe.
Okay. Or her microphone. Maybe her microphone. So, alrighty, guys. So that's all I have. I have given you the best of me. But
can you hear me?
Oh, but listen,
can you hear me?
No, I gotta show y'all this. Y'all see my folder? I am not new.
Hey, Deborah.
Huh?
This is Doll. I thought this was very interesting. You know, because especially with the pedigree chart, because I never thought about doing it that way with the different with the generations.
Absolutely.
And going to their pedigree chart.
So one thing I'm doing in every folder, I create the ancestry. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is the ancestry pedigree chart. This is the GEDmatch pedigree chart. I print out their profile in ancestry, and I put them suckers together with with paper clips. And now when I know I'm matching you, I put you in my folder. Now when I'm going to get ready to research this family line, I get all the people that I'm DNA matched. I see their trees. I see their pedigrees. I write on the cover of that what their GEDmatch number is. And I'm going to focus my research on that surname with those people. And that's how I'm going to stay focused and not let it stretch me everywhere. I can't research all these at the same time, but I've spent a week just printing based on a surname, building a tree. And remember, I also showed you, some of you guys may have missed, but I'm telling you, this has been a game changer of saving my life as far as how I structure my tree, building up my tree. And basically, I add the DNA to the name. You're trying to tell me what's going on?
Asterisk.
Here I add the word DNA. I give it a little asterisk that tells me it's my line. And then if it's not my line, if it's my line, but I'm DNA to you through a person. I add, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use, oh, I know who I'm going to use.
Where did you make those tags up, or are they already in Ancestry?
I'll show you that again because I did.
Okay.
You can create your own tags, which is very
Okay.
So Bird. So I want to do Bird because Bird is one I just recent Fortune, that name Fortune that I showed you that took me to Free Person of Color.
Right.
Was Bird. And that was a new find for me last week.
Mhm.
So Morgan Bird was all I had. Some of you may be familiar with that in your Bullitt County search, but he had Morgan Bird's parents was Edward and Delphi. So I know Edward and Delphi are my grandparents, great grandparents, fifth grade grandparents, actually. So I gave them this little parentheses with the star. You probably don't even have to have the parentheses. That's just my visual. But when I found someone that I was matching, so see over here, see over here, my notes and under notes, how you get to that is that pencil right there. You click the pencil, you get to add notes, and you get to create have tags. And under edit tags, you can use what's there or you can create your own.
Got it.
So I think matter of fact, I know for a fact you should say mulatto. I don't know why it's not there. But so you can create tags. They do have tags that are created: free person of color, enslaved person, slave owner. So they military service, indentured servant. So they do have tags you don't have to create. If you got brick walls and hypotheses, now we can start adding. But the power to me was this piece right here. He is not DNA to me, but his tree is strong to me. So I messaged him and I can say, left a message waiting for him to reply. I just have to remember where I left this note because if I left it deeper, I'm kind of screwed. But Morgan Bird is who I showed you. And then this is a person, Amanda is the person that I'm related to. And I just start building the tree with that person and putting DNA literally after every person that I'm related to in that person's tree. So every time I find a DNA match, I add them to my tree and I put DNA after their name. And this person right here says, I'm waiting for him to give me his parents' information so I can build it further. But I can copy this, put this puppy over here in a tab, and now I can at least see who was it that I was trying to look at. You see what I mean? So there's ways of trying to empower us. So this is the person I'm waiting for him to get back to me. So that was the other thing that some of you didn't see, how to organize your information and how not to lose sight of someone that you're working with or working on. So yeah. And then if they're related to you, once you connect them to your tree, you can literally see the icon. Emily, you had your hand up.
Oh, that's an old one, but I did want to say, when you put something in notes, you can see them on your top page. So you don't have to go into notes to look at them because they'll show up on your page as well.
I wasn't sure where that came from. That was driving me insane. But okay, because I see some people have beautiful, when you're looking at their tree, you see all the notes underneath. I'm like, where is that coming from? So maybe I'll start seeing it now that I've entered it. But notes is a phenomenal place to put stuff. People do comments, but I don't have anything, that's when other people can see it. I think other people can see your comments too. Your notes.
They can see your comments. Yes, they can.
They can see your comments, but they can't see your notes.
You can't see your notes. No.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it's a good way to organize. And then when I need to go back up the tree, I just look for the word DNA. I go back up my tree to wherever I want it to be. And then I add the next person. So now I know how many people in this line that I'm related to and why and through who. So that's a great way to be able to start building. See, this is how many people I found literally probably in the last week and a half at the most. And most of them is under this Delphi, I think. Yeah, most of them are under that Delphi. We're all related in the same line. So, it just takes time. You guys, many of y'all retired. Thank God.
Thank God.
So now you just have time to organize, right? And spend the time to organize, have a consistent process. Now going forward, everything is going to be the same. Everything is going to line up for you. At least. because I was working early and I couldn't figure out where my note was.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll tell you, I'll put it on the new person, then I put it on the top person, the same note, to help me so that I don't get caught up in that space of where was that note,
Yes.
which I should have did. So anyway, all right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. I thought we was gonna go to 9. Praise God.
Okay.
But that's why.
Thank you.
So
No, there's too much to absorb. I got to go back and refresh. So this is good timing.
Thank you all.
Upload
Yeah,
the
thank
video.
you.
I think I got to put it on YouTube, so I'll put it on my YouTube channel. I'll do that, and
You have a YouTube channel?
I'll do. You can go there. Watch. I have my documentary out of Alabama. I did a documentary on my family out of Alabama during COVID. So if you ain't got number time and you want to watch somebody document their whole history in a movie, I did that. So yeah.
And y'all, it's excellent. You need to really look at that because it's really well done. A lot of good information. The so what does she do with all those documents? She shows you, she tells you in an entertaining fashion, in a realistic fashion with real people doing it and talking. You got your narrator was excellent. The man, male, really, really good.
Excellent.
Really, really good.
It was. Thank you. But it was good. I love it. Y'all look at that. Yeah, I tried the Southern drawl and the whole 9. What we can recall.
Yeah.
So Kanika, I'll tell you, phenomenal writer. Phenomenal. If you are related to Kanika, get her books. Literally, it's her name. KathyLynnMarshall.com.
This is the Earl person.
Kanika is my Earl. If you're related to EA,
you must have been on Freedman Fridays, huh?
Yes.
If you're related to Earls and Thompsons, that's that line between me and Emily, and I think Kanika too. She didn't realize it, but she is Miss Kathy. But phenomenal, right? Oh my God, her books. I told you it was powerful. It was like my movie. The book was so well done. So, but I'm glad I got it because I found out at the back of the book she put jet match numbers. Thank you.
Yep.
Ended up being related to 3 of the names at least, which was so on her mother's side, right?
Yep, on that one.
I'm sorry, whose book is this?
Kathy Kanika Marshall, the woman.
Okay.
So yeah, her website is Kathy LYNNE Marshall.com with Kathy with a K. So if you're related to her, get her books.
Yeah. So I have a Facebook page and they're on Amazon, and it's just like what Delbra is talking about. Get the data, get as much as you can. I just want to make them interesting, like she did her documentary, by writing from the ancestors' point of view. So it's just a different way of writing down the data that we gather.
I only like reading books that's going to tell me something. I am not some people are just avid readers. I'm a technical reader.
I'm a technical reader.
I bought it because she said Earl. I want to know about the man Earl, so I bought it for that only for that purpose and reason. But I was like, "Ooh, did she really tell her this? This is amazing." So I asked her. I said, "Was this fiction or true?" Because it was phenomenal. Very, very well technically written, technically done. So if you're wanting to write a book too, it's a really cool way of how she told you the story, included family, made it sound like grandma was telling the kids about the life in the day. Very well done. I loved it. Can't wait to get the others, cuz all right, gang. I had said I was gonna hang up.
Thank you all.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Put it in the
bye-bye.
group. Let them know they missed it. Let them know.
Yeah.
All right, good night.
We need to talk. I'll probably get in touch with you. This is Emily.
I think she bounced. Kanika hurried up. There she go. She there.
Okay. I'm gonna just send you a little something to follow up, but thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.